While Southern California Edison crews work to repair lines and restore power deep in the charred canyons, the utility company is also trying to determine if it was a problem with their equipment that in fact caused all this again. SCE filed what's called an electrical incident safety report with the state's Public Utilities Commission, noting 2 minutes before the fire was reported, one of their Chatsworth substations had a service interruption. Would you be surprised if it turns out that there was some type of power company malfunction?
I would just say that would be very disheartening in this day and age, especially after all that we're trying to do to prevent those things from occurring.
Other way, Raul.
SCE says it still hasn't gotten access to the area of the fire's ignition and has said little since Friday, releasing a statement reading in part, SCE will continue to invest in hardening its infrastructure and implementing industry-leading safety practices. Much more work is needed to address the critical issues of fire suppression efforts and liability allocation. One of the area's newer elected officials, who grew up in Malibu, welcomes that but is frustrated because he says it should have been done sooner.
There's going to be new funding appropriated from Sacramento to deal with what we call grid hardening, which is in theory making the equipment in these wildland interfaces more resilient to fire. But I'll tell you, we're too late. I mean, in some of these cases, we've been relying on an old system of lines and poles.
And the lead agency in all this, Ventura County Fire, points out that even if SCE's equipment is at fault, it does not imply any negligence.
If you take all of the precautions, there can be failures. It can be the lines arcing. It could be a branch that comes across two lines and causes it to arc. It can be a bird that actually makes contact with the lines.
And once SCE's investigators do get access to the burn's origin, there's no guarantee of answers. It's possible their equipment all burned up, making an exact cause difficult to determine, which for now leaves us with this sobering thought.
We've had the largest fire in California's history, the most destructive fire in California's history, and the most deadly all in 1 year. And those are some pretty staggering statistics. And what concerns us is that we don't see an end in sight.
That's alarming. I would encourage you to check out a new state law which takes effect in January, SB 901. It has a lot to do with utilities and wildfires, requiring utilities to do more in terms of mitigation efforts, as it's called. It also allows utilities to pass on the costs of recovery from wildfires to ratepayers. Reporting live in Westlake Village, I'm Phil Schuman, Fox 11 News.